She came to my door claiming she was pregnant. But what my husband said afterward was even more shocking. The moment those words left her mouth, it felt like my entire body froze from the inside out. But the truth is what led to that moment had roots much deeper and uglier than I ever imagined. Before I get into the rest, if you're listening right now, tell me where you are, how old you are, and what you're doing while hearing this. Because someone out there might be living a story just like mine. It was a quiet Saturday morning. I brewed my usual cup of coffee. The house smelled warm and familiar, and my husband was still asleep, snoring lightly in our bedroom. Nothing seemed out of place. Then the doorbell rang. We don't get unexpected visitors. Most people call or text before coming over. So the sound instantly made me uneasy. When I opened the door, a young woman stood there. She looked nervous, hands shaking, eyes glossy, breathing shallow. Is this where Ethan lives? My husband's name. I figured she must be a coworker or someone from his company. But her tone, the way she said his name, it wasn't professional. It sounded familiar. Too familiar. I hadn't even answered before she pressed her hand to her stomach. I'm pregnant. My heart slammed against my ribs like it wanted to escape my chest. It felt like my vision pulled away from me, like I was looking through a tunnel. And the father is Ethan. I tried to close the door. Maybe I thought if I shut her out, the whole thing would disappear. But she stopped the door with her hand. I didn't want to do this. But he's not answering me. I didn't know what else to do. Right then, I heard footsteps behind me. Ethan walked out of the bedroom, rubbing his eyes like he had just woken up. Who is it? He came closer. And when he saw her, he froze. Completely. And when she saw him, she froze the exact same way. It was the kind of reaction two people have when they share a secret. A reaction that doesn't need words. Oh, you came, Ethan muttered under his breath. You came? Those two words felt like a knife. He knew exactly who she was. He wasn't confused. He wasn't surprised. He was caught. He didn't even look at me. When he stepped forward and opened the door wider for her. Come in, he said softly. That moment was when my nightmare truly began. She stepped into our living room like she'd been there before. Ethan guided her to the couch, acting almost protective. I stood by the kitchen counter, gripping the edge so tightly my knuckles turned white. My own house suddenly didn't feel like mine. The two of them whispered, not loud enough for me to hear, which somehow hurt even more. I walked over and sat down across from them. Enough, I said. Sit, both of you. I'm done being left out of this conversation. They looked at me, her with fear, him with guilt. I took a deep breath. Tell me what's going on. No lies, no excuses. The woman swallowed hard. I was seeing Ethan for about a year. 1 year. The words hit harder than the pregnancy announcement. A year meant holidays, birthdays, anniversaries. It meant he was living two different lives. One with me, one with her. I didn't know he was married, she continued. When I found out, I tried to end things. Ethan looked down at the floor, unable to meet my eyes. And the pregnancy? I asked. She placed her hand gently on her stomach. At first, the doctor said it might be a high-risk pregnancy. I didn't tell him immediately because I didn't know what was going to happen. But when I finally did, he stopped answering my calls. My stomach twisted. Ethan finally spoke. I'm sorry, but he wasn't apologizing to me. Not even looking in my direction. He was apologizing to her. I stared at him, my voice steady but trembling underneath. So let me get this straight. You cheated on me for a year. She gets pregnant, and your first instinct is to run? Ethan didn't respond. I took a deep breath and asked, what do you want now? What do you think should happen? He hesitated, and then, with a voice so low I almost didn't hear it, he said, I want to make sure the baby's okay. My heart nearly stopped. The baby? I repeated. He nodded slowly. Yeah, the baby didn't do anything wrong. That sentence, that single, quiet sentence, shattered something inside me that will never be fixed. At that moment I realized, my husband wasn't choosing me. He wasn't choosing our marriage. He was choosing her child. The living room felt colder than ever. I stared at Ethan, searching his face for something: remorse, confusion, anything. But all I saw was fear. Fear of losing control. Fear of responsibility, not fear of losing me. You say the baby doesn't deserve this, I said quietly. Fine, I agree, but tell me, what did I do to deserve this? Ethan opened his mouth, then closed it. He didn't have an answer. You lied to me for a year, I said. You slept next to me every night while living another life. You celebrated anniversaries with me while sneaking around with her. And the whole time, you let me believe everything was fine. The other woman wiped tears with her sleeve. I didn't know he hid everything. I swear I didn't know. I looked at her not with anger, but exhaustion. You didn't know the truth. But you knew enough to come to my house. She flinched. I only knew because Ethan mentioned the neighborhood once. I connected the dots. Ethan shot her a sharp look. Stop. Don't say anything else. That was all I needed. He had willingly shared pieces of our life with her. He had given her enough clues to find me. Let me ask you something, Ethan. I kept my tone calm. Calmer than he deserved. Do you love her? He didn't answer. But the silence told the truth. I nodded slowly. Then there's nothing left to talk about. I stood up. I'm done. I walked to my drawer, pulled out a folder, and placed it on the coffee table. Inside was everything. Marriage certificate, joint tax documents, insurance forms, our mortgage paper, all the pieces that made up the life we were supposed to be building together. Do you see this? I said, tapping the folder. This is the life you promised me. Ethan stared at the papers, jaw tight, eyes unfocused. You chose to break those promises. Not with a mistake, not with one bad night, but with a year-long relationship. He rubbed his face with both hands. I never meant for things to go this far. But they did. I cut him off. And you let it happen. I turned to the woman. And you. I don't blame you completely. You were lied to as well. But you're carrying a life. That comes with choices. Hard ones. She nodded, tears falling freely. Ethan spoke, voice cracking. Just give me some time. Let me fix this. Let me figure it out. No, I said firmly. Your time ran out the moment you chose to protect her feelings over mine. He looked up, panicked. I'm not choosing her. You already did. My voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. You chose her when you hid her. You chose her when you shut me out. You chose her when she showed up. Pregnant, and your first thought was the baby, not your wife. His face crumpled. I pointed toward the door. Get out. He didn't move at first. He just stared at me, realizing too late what he had lost. But eventually, he stood up, and he left. Just like that, the door closed behind them, and the house fell into an almost painful silence. I sat on the living room floor, letting the quiet sink in. No screaming, no tears, just stillness. Later that night, my phone lit up. Ethan, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Please don't give up on us. I didn't respond. The next day, another message. Ethan, I think I need to take responsibility for the baby. That was it. That was the moment everything became clear. He wasn't trying to fix our marriage. He was trying to ease his guilt. And I wasn't going to spend the rest of my life being someone's afterthought. I met with a lawyer the following week. The evidence was more than enough. Her showing up at our house. The pregnancy claim. Ethan's reaction. The divorce process was long. But my heart was strangely calm. Ethan tried reaching out again. Tried saying he missed me. Asked if we could talk things out. But nothing he said mattered anymore. He had shown me who he was. When it mattered most. And I finally believed him. Now I live alone. It's quiet. It's peaceful. And for the first time in a long time, I feel like I can breathe. Here's what I learned. Betrayal doesn't happen overnight. It grows slowly, in the empty spaces between two people who stop looking at each other. But healing happens slowly too, and I'm finally allowing myself to start. And if you're listening to this, if you're hurting, if you feel abandoned, I want you to know something. You weren't left behind because you weren't enough. You were left behind because they were too small to love you the way you deserved. You will rise again. I promise you that. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. It's a great help.